There were 10 failed attempts with electroshock therapy in 2008. The procedures failed, but I had to go living in agony without hope. I decided to seek a miracle. But wait, didn't Simon of Simon and Garfunkel say sometime in the 60s that the New York Times said God was dead? I'm not so sure. This is a true story about mental illness, the dignity of all work, hope, and recovery. I became bipolar my senior year of college, 1975, and soon learned I could no longer hit big league pitching. In the 13 years after graduation, depression and manic energy always got in my way. I was fired from 3 lucrative sales jobs and flunked out of 2 Hatsita graduate schools. I struck out at every turn. After a heart-wrenching heart-to-heart in 1988, my wife and I decided I should apply for Social Security disability. The government was crazy enough to give it to me because they thought I was crazy. Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. The deal with disability was that you could only earn $300 a month. You can't even work at McDonald's for 7 hours a week without going over the $300 limit. I think this is called Catch-22. I couldn't have a W-2, the government wage form for work, but my psychological need to work was overwhelming. So what did I do? I turned to the dark side and the under-the-table pay of our nation. I resented the kinds of jobs that were open to me. The things I saw in our nation's underground economy were amazing. At various times, I delivered flowers, dry cleaning, and newspapers. I cleaned business offices by night and gutters by day. I was a fitness instructor at one gym and mixed protein shakes in another. Gradually, though, I came to learn that all work is honorable. My recovery was beginning. I was a clerk at a hardware store and rang the register in a pizza place. I was a woodworker as well as a home health aide. I remember working as a hired help at weddings and also driving cars for a wholesale auctioneer. There was a stint as a professional fundraiser for a very, very shady AIDS organization. I sold Christmas trees for a drug dealer. I picked apples and drove tractors. I worked side by side with our migrant worker friends, the woe-begone wall workers of the world, and the weary people of West Philly. I met so many good people at these jobs, as well as the worst of our society. I even became familiar with farm animals. I fed the pigs. That was too much for this Eagle Scout, class president, most likely to succeed recipient, and 2-time Ivy Leaguer. I was so ashamed my life had come to this, I didn't even pick up my last under-the-table pay. I didn't know a miracle was in the works. So what did I do? I got another under-the-table job selling really bad used cars from a closed, unheated gas station in the dead of winter. I sat in my winter parka by the kerosene heater, reading the Wall Street Journal. Soon I began to study the paper intensely. I realized there was another way to make money. Schedule D, the government tax form for dividends and capital gains. Legal income for bipolar souls like me. I've come to love the stock market. I particularly like to invest in the great megatrends of our age, such as Amazon, FedEx, UPS, and all the box makers. Surprisingly, though, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett have yet to ask me to play cards. Boxes, boxes, boxes. It occurred to me that we all live in boxes. Some people's boxes are rectangular. Some people's boxes are square. Our boxes are shaped by race, gender, family, Philadelphia Eagles, and more. Square, rectangular. My box had been crushed by mental illness. I was corrugated pulp. Little did I know that hard work was keeping me sane. Kathy and I have a good marriage that has lasted 38 years, a successful son who is a good person, a house we love, a condo at the shore, and money in the bank. Most importantly, though, I have become proud of who I am. People no longer think of me as mentally ill, and some people now say they actually find me interesting. I realize I have a great deal to offer society. I have become a champion for the mentally ill and talk freely about my experiences. My box has been recycled by good doctors and Kath's undying love. I now have a new container in which to travel through time. A balloon. I'm free, floating freer every day. Social Security has relaxed their income requirements so that I can now earn $212 a week. All my life, vocational interest tests have told me that I should be a social science teacher. I've become a substitute elementary school aide in my hometown. I read stories to the first graders and open juice boxes at lunch. And let me tell you, some of those juice boxes are tough. It's so much fun. I honestly believe I'm helpful to both students and faculty alike. I'm good at my job. I can't wait for that 6 a.m. phone call calling me to work each day. I have passion. Life is good once again. Frank Sinatra put my feelings in a song. I lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every byway. But more, much more than this, I did it my way. I'm happy, and I hope you all can find your happiness too.